Now we have Mike Strydom. He is our head men's and women's tennis coach, and the men's competition season is in the spring, so he'll talk about that.
Thanks, Katie Jo. Yeah, we've already started our men's competition for the year. We started practicing on January 19th, so we're a few weeks in already. We've played 3 matches. We've gone 2-1 so far, including good 2 wins this weekend, including our first conference match against Loris. So it was nice to get wins under the belt over there. We started off with Ashford a week ago. Ashford's kind of loaded up. They're an NAIA school, and they're loaded up with some scholarship players over there. And we struggled hard, but it was nice to see the guys' resilience coming out there. I don't think anybody gave up through the night, and that might be more of a trademark of this year's team as opposed to last year's team. Just some maturity, some mental stability that maybe wasn't there last year. And so even though we lost that match, you know, we got a lot out of it, and we enjoyed that. It was good seeing them come back this weekend. They played phenomenally well against Loris and Bethany Lutheran. Both teams aren't very deep, but they do have some top guys that are challenging, and so the guys came out well and played well over there. As far as players go, we're led once again by Eric Hilpert. This will be his 3rd year playing #1 for us, which is, you know, there is no easy matches at #1. No matter who you play and where you play, you're going to get in a tough match at #1 singles. Eric's held that down for us for a long time now. He's experienced. He's our leader. Kind of everything goes through him, and so he's our captain this year as well. And he's playing well. He had a big injury last year that kept him out for 9 weeks, the first 9 weeks of the season, and I think that really upset him. And he's come back with kind of a chip on his shoulder this year to prove that this is his year to make a name for himself, be in that all-conference squad at the end of the year. And he's looking to set some good win streaks over here. Moving up the lineup from last year, moving from 4 to 2 is Brandon Hornback, and then Luke Benner follows him at 3. Both young sophomores, both gym rats. They spend their life in the gym just getting bigger and stronger, and I can't control them right now. They're just hulking out. So we got to stop them for a little bit and see if they can focus on the tennis some more. But they're playing phenomenal tennis. Nobody can outrun them, and that's a big boon, I guess, for our team, is that, you know, nobody's beating us in the 3rd set. We've got a much fitter team than probably everybody else in the conference. If we can make a match drag out, we're winning those right now, which is kind of nice. And a lot of that's through Brandon and through Luke, who take a lot of time on their fitness and energy and things like that. Humia Kitahara played 7 for us last year and was kind of a utility player when people got injured. He's coming in at 4, and he's doing fantastically well. He had 2 big wins this weekend that looked almost effortless in nature. He's so smooth in the way that he plays, just a stylish player who understands tennis, understands directionals. The only thing he doesn't understand is English yet, so we're still struggling with that. But aside from that, he's doing fantastically well. And I'm enjoying having Humia around the team a lot. Frank LeConte's been on our team for 3 years now. This is his 1st year playing varsity. He's changed a couple of things. He's changed his grip on the forehand side, and he came in kind of ready to work this year. It's not a side of him that I've seen before. He kind of, I don't know, wasn't up for the challenge the past 2 years, and this year he said, look, if I'm going to be here, it's going to be serious, and he trained a little bit in the off-season. And he had 2 big wins this weekend, came back from a tough match in the morning to win, which was very, very nice to see. Frank LeConte is also holding down our 3 doubles spot with Carl Jaischke, who moves in at 6 singles. Carl Jaischke is a athlete's athlete. The guy plays a lot of sports. He was baseball, he was wrestling, he was all kinds of things in high school. He's decided to finally settle down on tennis. Lots of flaws in his game, lots of technical faults that are going on, but athletic enough that he knows how to change them. He listens hard. He comes to practice every day. He wants to get better. And so it's kind of exciting having Carl there. I'm hoping that Carl has that intangible that Coy Wigman provided for us last year at 6, where, you know, you're maybe not the most technical player in the world and you don't have all those skills that other tennis players do, but you just find a way to win every single week. And I think Carl is going to be that player for us. When he gets out onto the court, he becomes a different player. The eyes go focused, and he's just a beast out there. So it's really nice having Carl out there. Jeremy Ellerby is going to round out our team this year, young freshman from Marion, works hard, still working on a lot of mental aspects and maturity of the game, just being in matches, not getting nervous, just getting the ball back more than the other guy really is what we're working on with Jeremy right now. And so he will be an asset in years to come. Probably our biggest loss of the season right now was my little baby giraffe, Andre Green. He broke his foot over Christmas, and so he's been out this is his 10th week that he's out, and so we're hopefully trying to get him back in the mix as soon as possible. We're heading down to Hilton Head next weekend, South Carolina Hilton Head. We'll leave on the Friday. And play very, very tough matches down there. We have Wilkes, Misericordia, Central State, and University of Mobile, Alabama. Big schools, NAIA schools, all nationally ranked or regionally ranked. It's going to be a tough trip for the guys. They get to play their first match on clay, and they haven't played on clay ever. For anybody that knows things about tennis, clay is very slow, and it's a much different game. You have to learn to stop at certain points, and so it could be a big adjustment for them, not having any clay courts around here. We've never practiced on those. So that could be a tough trip for us, but I think we're going to get some challenges down there, and that could be pretty exciting for us. As always, expectations are high. We're coming off our best season in program history. We ended up coming second last year. We knocked off Luther for the first time since 1984. I think the guys are expecting to win now, which is a good culture to have in the program, and that's enjoyable. So, you know, as ever, we're aiming for a conference victory. I think Co is about as strong a team as I've ever seen. Co has always been good. But they've got a phenomenal team, and they just got their first national ranking in a long time this week. So they're going to be tough. Luther's going to be tough. Central's going to be tough. They picked up a couple of freshmen there that, you know, we'll have to look over our shoulder. There's a vast difference in levels within our conference, you know, between the bottom and the top of the conference over there. And so, you know, one week we may not get the greatest tennis. Next week we'll see the most phenomenal tennis the guys have ever seen. And so it's a bit of a tough season. Being indoors is always a tough season because we travel onto different surfaces. We haven't lost on our courts indoors since 2012, which is a big advantage for us. But I think every school would just say their home indoor courts are a big advantage. Central is fast. Luther is fast. Dubuque is even slower than ours. So every week is kind of making adjustments, and I'm hoping that the maturity of the guys, now that we've played a couple years together and they've been under the system a while, will come out. So I'm pretty excited for our season. Questions?
How much did the win over Luther sort of escalate that program momentum that you've been hoping to build?
Yeah, it was a phenomenal achievement. I think prior to that, we'd always been kind of maybe not afraid of Luther, but a little intimidated. When Luther and Co. stepped on our courts, there was kind of that feeling, well, let's just try and make this last as long as possible, and hopefully we pick up something. I think it was the first time the guys started believing in themselves that they can actually play at these levels. All these guys that they've seen at high school that have been untouchable, and now they're at college, and because of working hard and doing the right things and getting technically stronger, they can compete with these guys. And so, yeah, I think that's going to help. I think it is definitely going to help from a recruiting point of view. We're already looking at some bigger names for next year, and we've got about 4 or 5 commits coming in for next year already, so I'm pretty excited for that. Yeah, it was a big win for us. We were excited.
With 1 senior and 2 juniors on your roster, what have you seen from them as far as team leadership?
Yeah, I mean, Eric Hilbert, it all starts there. As I said, he's been there for so long. He's played at a high level for so long. And so I've seen a lot from him. He's stepped up. And just with the intangible things off the court, too, he makes sure the guys are getting together for dinner every so often, things like that. Juniors, Frank is somebody who's definitely working on himself right now and will take over as a leader in the next few years. But I think the incumbents to Eric, or the next kind of step, will be Luke and Brandon. It's nice having sophomore guys that act like seniors, that act like juniors on the team who can step up like that. And Brandon and Luke are definitely those next two guys. And so we're in a good way for the next few years. Brandon and Luke have also taken over a lot of the recruiting, making phone calls themselves, making sure they meet guys when they come on campus. And, you know, that's real important, putting a face to your players and things like that. So Brandon and Luke, you're very excited to have them around. Andre's just Andre. We'll leave Andre alone for now. Thanks, Katie Joe.